She's making face. Oh, she pregnant. Yeah, he does.
You want to see her hair?
Yeah.
Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Miss Kafui. So ladies, today we are talking about preeclampsia. I hope I pronounced that right. Ladies, I've ever heard of preeclampsia, but I didn't know it was this serious. And I didn't know that you could get it even postpartum or during, okay, I always knew you'd get it during pregnancy, but I didn't know you could get it postpartum. That is something that surprised me. And what even surprised me more and shocked me more is that most women die even a week after giving birth from this disease if not detected. I think ladies, it's good to just feed yourself some of this knowledge, because you may know someone who has even if you yourself don't have children or even don't plan to have children. I'm sure you know someone who has children or is planning to have children or even is pregnant. I think some of this knowledge can help you or can even help you identify some of these symptoms and even save their life. You just never know where this knowledge applies. So ladies, enough of me talking. Let's jump right into this video and then I'll be back to give my take on it.
This is a terrifying moment that could happen to you. You may have seen this video of content creator Courtney Quinn. She was readmitted to the hospital shortly after giving birth to her baby boy. In this video, she talks about having back pain, which she thought was a normal symptom after labor. She's not wrong. It can be hard to know what symptoms are related to labor or to something else. I'm Dr. Bio, a health advocate. It's common for women to attribute symptoms like back pain, headache, swelling, and nausea as normal symptoms after having a baby. There's a serious condition called postpartum preeclampsia, where your blood pressure goes up to a scary high level and you develop too much protein in your urine after you've delivered your baby. There's something that isn't talked about though. Preeclampsia doesn't only exist during pregnancy. It can happen when you are at home with your newborn. This condition can happen up to 6 weeks later. If something feels off, trust your gut and get checked out. If left untreated, it can lead to a complication such as a seizure or even death. Kudos to Courtney and her husband for insisting she should go and be seen. This decision helped save her life.
I found out I had postpartum preeclampsia 2 days after discharging from the hospital delivering my baby girl. I had no obvious symptoms during my pregnancy or while I was admitted in the hospital. Now, mind you, I did have swelling in my legs and feet. The healthcare team said it was because of the emergency C-section and all of the fluids that I received. Our second night home with the baby, I woke up to nurse her. It was around 1 a.m. I nursed her, put her back to bed, and then I was going back to bed. I attempted to lay down, but I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like I couldn't take a deep, full breath in. Felt like I was slowly suffocating. It was the scariest thing ever. I expressed my concerns to my husband and my family, and we all thought it was maybe just lack of sleep and maybe postpartum anxiety. I never slept that night. I said, something is wrong. I'm gonna listen to my body. My husband took me to the emergency room. I was short of breath with even just walking. The emergency room was full, but seeing that I still pretty much had my baby bump, my stomach wasn't completely flat, and seeing that I was short of breath, the nurse prioritized me and sent me back immediately. When they checked my blood pressure, it was in the 190s systolic. It just continued to climb, eventually reaching the 200s. I also had a chest x-ray done, which showed fluid on my lungs. I was readmitted to the hospital and stayed for 2 days to get a magnesium infusion, and I also had to be on blood pressure medication for 6 weeks. Thankfully now I am medication free and my blood pressure normalized, because it doesn't always go back to normal. Here are some symptoms to look out for during pregnancy and after that can mean you potentially have preeclampsia. And as always, the most important thing is to listen to your body. If something feels off, it is off.
We are 5 months in. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, for like the last month, at least a month and a half, 2 months, I really slowed down like taking my blood pressure, because I felt like it was giving me more anxiety every single time I took it, worrying about it, the constant stress with that. I do notice that the more hydrated I am, my blood pressure is more normal or much lower. I also noticed that when I wake up in the morning, first thing in the morning, I take my blood pressure is usually normal. It peaks around evening time when I'm more tired and sleepy or a little bit dehydrated because I've just been going all day. So it's much more about maintaining hydration, I feel like, for my body, maintaining rest as well. I've been juicing and I am going to be on a nice workout routine. My husband, he is a certified, he went to school for it, like very high education. Listen, that's not my realm, so I'm not about to get here and start talking about that. He has developed a program for me. He has trained professional athletes of every sport, and he's gonna get me right. When I feel a little bit off or stressed out, I take my blood pressure and then I will take my medicine. I am not a doctor. Do not follow my lead. Please talk to your doctors about what you're going through and what you need specifically.
Postpartum preeclampsia. You ever heard of it? I hadn't either until I had a baby and then got it. I had my baby when I was 39 weeks pregnant. It was a normal pregnancy, so I had her. And then after a few days, I just started feeling weird. Like I had a headache. I was having like weird, not blurry vision, but like sparkly vision. The thing that like really tipped me on it was having tightness in my chest. I felt like I had the baby on me at all times, even when she wasn't. And I just chalked it up to like being tired, being dehydrated. You know, you just had a baby. Like it's freaking hard. Your body getting back into the swing of things. So there was one day, it was her due date. So 1 week after I gave birth. And I was just laying there and I was like, I feel so weird right now. I don't feel right. Something's wrong. I had had a baby previously, so I hadn't felt like that in the first pregnancy, or like postpartum. I kept telling my partner, I was like, I feel weird. I feel like something's wrong. Something feels off. It was a Saturday, of course. Everything happens on a Saturday. So I called my doctor's like nurse line. She told me to call 911. So I was like, oh, okay, so something is wrong. And I said, well, can I just go to the hospital? And she was like, I suggest you call 911. So I did. So they sent those kind little firefighters to my house. They're like, so what's going on? And I explained to them. He takes my blood pressure and he goes, okay, we're gonna take you to the hospital. And I was like, oh, like, is my blood pressure high? And he was like, a little bit. And so we go. I get rolled out in my neighborhood into the ambulance. I think it was the paramedic in the ambulance. He finally told me my blood pressure was like 170/90. Not like super familiar with blood pressure before that. So I was like, okay, like I guess that's high. Also, my heart rate was extremely low, which was like, is that normal? Like if it is postpartum preeclampsia, is that normal? And they're like, not really. I still don't quite know what that was about. It's kind of weird. So I'm at the hospital. They have me hooked up. They're like taking my vitals and everything. As I'm sitting there in the hospital bed, my headache goes from like a 6 probably to like the worst headache that I've ever had. And I kept saying that like my head hurts so bad, stabbing pain in my head. They put me on blood pressure medication to try to get it down. It wasn't quite getting down as fast as they wanted it to. It was like getting pretty obvious that they were gonna admit me into the hospital. The doctor comes in with one of the midwives that I was actually seeing when I was pregnant. They come in, they're explaining what's going on. They confirm, they said, you have postpartum preeclampsia. We're gonna admit you. They're gonna do a magnesium drip and blood pressure medication. So the caveat was that somebody had to be with me. I couldn't be in there by myself with the baby. I had to have the caregiver for the baby. Luckily, I live near my mom and she's an angel and came and stayed with me in the hospital. When you have such high blood pressure, your body is at risk for having a seizure, for having catastrophic things happen. They start me on the magnesium drip. If you've never heard of the magnesium drip, it's a very odd experience. They were like, you're gonna feel a little bit like maybe drunk. And I was like, okay, like, fun. I didn't feel drunk, but like I'll put a picture here. My eyes were like halfway shut. I was like, I can't open my eyes. I felt more like I had been gardening than drunk. I'm on the mag drip, that's what they call it. It's an infusion, basically, a 24-hour infusion. Whatever it is about that magnesium, it helps to get your blood pressure down. They kept me there for, I think it was like 2 days total. Part of the issue with postpartum preeclampsia is that I already had the baby, so they couldn't induce my pregnancy. The baby was already here. I will put the symptoms to look out for on the screen. But like I said, my main ones were headache, sparkly vision, chest tightness. I could just tell that something was wrong. I I'm so happy that I listened to my gut, because I was laying there with my brand new baby thinking, what if I just died right now? What if something so terrible happened and my toddler and my baby would be without me? That is what made me call, and I'm so happy that I listened to my gut. And this video is not to scare anyone, it's more so to educate, because I truly did not know that this was a thing. If you take anything away from this video, it's just to always listen to your body, listen to what your body is telling you, listen to your intuition, because if I hadn't, it's possible I wouldn't be here today.
When I was pregnant with my daughter North, I had a condition called preeclampsia or toxemia, which is basically when the mom's organs start to shut down. The only way to get rid of that is to deliver the baby. At 34 and a half weeks, I had to go into emergency labor. They induced me. North was 4 pounds. She was almost 6 weeks early. After I delivered, my placenta never came out. So that's called placenta accreta. So my placenta grew inside my uterus. And that is what women die from in childbirth.
The video you've just seen is a woman who just had triplet babies and she went down with stroke. Babies are supposed to bring so much joy into the family, but in the case of this family, I don't know their fate, because taking care of just one baby is a handful. Talk more of taking care of 3 babies at once, whose mother is down with stroke. We all know that stroke is not just like malaria and it's like that you take medications and then give it some days it goes. Stroke takes a very long time to gradually correct, and most times, even while the patient has gotten a lot better, there are still some signs that will show you that, okay, probably this person has gone through stroke before. But interest you to know that she has not always been like this. She is down with this stroke because of pregnancy and childbirth. In this video, I'm about to tell you things that can put someone at risk for stroke during and after pregnancy. The first one is hypertension. Now, this hypertension can come in 2 phases. It can either be pregnancy-induced hypertension or a non-hypertensive patient who got pregnant. Now, pregnancy-induced hypertension, I think I have a detailed video of it on my page. If you want, you can look it up. It has to do with people who has no history of hypertension before pregnancy, but during pregnancy and in the journey of pregnancy, they got diagnosed with hypertension. And then on the other hand, the other women already have hypertension and probably they got married, they got pregnant, and of course, coupling pregnancy with already known diagnosis is going to keep increasing day by day. How do you even know if you're hypertensive or if you're becoming hypertensive as a result of pregnancy? You have to always check your blood pressure regularly. There are electronic BP devices that are sold everywhere in the market. The way you get yourself the fetal Doppler is the same way you should get yourself your BP apparatus. And always check your BP, because you might not need to wait till your next doctor's appointment just to check your BP. And this is also a call out for those women that do not even care about going for their antenatal classes. All they do is, because they've been pregnant before, they just, once they confirm that they are pregnant, they go to the market and get routine drugs and start taking. Remember that the way your first pregnancy goes might not be the same way your second pregnancy. That is why at every pregnancy, no matter how many times you've given birth, you need to always visit your doctor or your midwife. Another reason that can cause a woman to go down with stroke is preeclampsia. Preeclampsia has a lot of components, which also includes high blood pressure, blurry vision, swollen foods, and a lot more. Notice some changes in you and you do not complain. How would a doctor see you? How would you get diagnosed? At the end of the day, this is still pointing at always take your hospital appointment very seriously. And you have already been diagnosed with any of these conditions. This video is not to get you scared. The only advice I have for you is make sure you keep to all your hospital appointments. Take your medications as prescribed. Do well to adhere to all the instructions your healthcare providers are going to be dishing out to you. If you've watched up to this point, you know my one true love and I love you so much. And I wish you safe and sound delivery on that D-Day.
You have what we call preeclampsia.
Preeclampsia? I've heard of that.
It's dangerous, right?
It can be, but we're going to give you magnesium to prevent it from getting any worse. And the real solution is to deliver the baby
Now?
today. So you might want to call your partner back, let them know that they can come on down.
Can't. He's stationed in Turkey, Marines. He's scheduled to come home 2 days before the due date.
Unfortunately, your timeline needs to be sped up. Normally, I'd say we can induce, but in your case, I'd recommend a C-section. So we can get you into surgery today.
A
with
C-section?
repeat.
Of course, you get paid more for that.
This has nothing to do with financial factors. At least your baby's big. The risks are the shoulders getting caught and creating more complications.
You have no idea how big my baby is, right? It's just a guess.
It's an estimate, yes, but I've been doing this.
So I have to do the C-section?
Not at all. It's your choice. We can try for a vaginal delivery. I'm just giving you my recommendation.
Why didn't you say that?
I was giving you...
You weren't. You started talking about getting me into surgery before I even agreed to it.
I recommended a procedure based on my experience. No, trust
That's
me.
the thing. I don't trust you.
Hi, Mrs. Thompson. My name is Maggie. I'm a nurse and a midwife. Do you mind if I join you? Sounds like you have a lot of questions, and I want to make sure that we go through all of them before you make a decision. Make sure that you have all the information. How does that sound?
Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Okay. I'll get the magnesium. You want to do miso, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Mags.
Yeah.
Thanks for the assist back there.
Yeah, I've had the experience of navigating this medical world as a black woman. Usually means that your concerns get dismissed. Elise just wants to be heard.
I think it's safe to call preeclampsia a killer disease because if not detected, you will just lose your life. No wonder you hear these mothers, oh, she gave birth well, she came back to the house, 3 days later we rushed her to the hospital, she was dead. That's why you hear such stories. I'm not saying every death is caused by preeclampsia, but I'm saying maybe that's what normally happens and these people don't realize. And these stories are very scary. They are very, very scary, especially the woman who has stroke after giving birth to triplets. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I'm even more angry with the person who was recording, because why record someone in such a vulnerable state? And what makes me even sadder is that most women after giving birth are treated like something disposable. I don't know. We are treated like something disposable. Unless you really had good family and friends along your side, they'll treat you like someone who's disposable, someone whose work has ended. I mean, it's like, you see how you unwrap a snack and then when the snack is over, you just fold the wrapper and just throw it in the dustbin. I think that's how they treat us women after we give birth. But yet they remember that, oh, that woman is supposed to take care of this baby and feed this baby. Let's just pretend we care. I think that's how most people are. Let's just be honest. And it's so sad because after giving birth, your whole brain resets, your whole personality changes. I don't know. It's like a switch. Something happens to you that you cannot even remember your life before that baby. Yes, you can, but it takes you time to remember. I don't know whether it's me or some of you have experienced this, but it's crazy. So ladies, please keep in mind the symptoms to look out for, as we've had headaches, you feel some chest tightness, your vision is not clear, your feet are very swollen or whatever during pregnancy. Please ladies, let's be aware of these symptoms, especially as ladies who come from these third world countries whereby they may not conduct these serious tests on us when we are pregnant. But if you can afford good health care in this continent, in this African continent, please go for the best. Go for what your pocket can afford. Me right now, if I was to get pregnant again, I know I'll be going for the best services, because I know I need to enjoy my motherhood. No, I'm not being taken out. I'm not dying in Jesus' name, amen. Ladies, we have to be very aware. We have to be and don't ignore any symptom. Don't think that you're disturbing people. Don't ignore any symptom. Like the way we said in our previous videos about endometriosis and painful periods, it's not normal to have painful periods that you cannot even function. It's not normal. The pain is not normal. Don't ignore the pain. And in this video, don't ignore the symptoms. And what is even scary is that in postpartum preeclampsia, there's no baby to deliver. So when you deliver, you're pregnant, and when you have preeclampsia, they deliver the baby to end it. But in postpartum, the baby is already delivered. So what are they delivering? It's crazy to think about it. There's no cure for it after birth. It's crazy, just managing and some medicine. It's crazy. Yes, and as one lady said, take your hospital appointments seriously too, because some women miss these appointments. Some women, when you're giving birth, especially here in Africa, you'll see some woman has been brought to the hospital in active labor, and then they're asking her, "Where's your clinic book?" And she doesn't have it. She doesn't know where it is, and it's crazy because even some of them say that I've never come for, what are they called? I've never come for antenatal services. I've never come for them. Like the whole 9 months, you just never went and got checked to know whether your baby is just fine. Like you just never bothered. But as you know, here in Africa, some women are yet to be educated or something. Like some older women didn't go to school. They don't know the importance of all these things. Some women live in very rural areas again. So anyway, ladies, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope it is not so boring. You guys nowadays are not watching my videos, and it's sad. I know I've played a part in that by not having a consistent uploading schedule in the past like 1 or 2 weeks. But right now I'm back. You'll be seeing videos every day, even until the end of the month, before I go for another like 1 week break at the beginning of May. I always take a break at the beginning of the month. So whenever you don't see videos at the beginning of the month, just know it's that break time for me. Anyway, ladies, I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Let me know whether you need more videos on women's health, and I'll be happy to publish them. Bye.